It makes you look like a globetrotter, it's as capable as it is friendly, and now it's evolved for the better. Yes, it's the Honda Africa Twin I'm talking about, and I've got my hands on the 2018 version, which is allegedly better than ever before. Now, I could just believe the brochure and give you a verdict, but who in the right mind can give up the opportunity to ride an Africa Twin? Not me, that's for sure.
The Africa Twin, ever since its rebirth, has been one of the best looking adventure tourers around, and the 2018 version takes nothing away from that. To elaborate, it continues to retain its tall, purposeful stance without looking too large or intimidating, unlike some of its peers. The twin LED headlights and the simple, well-finished fairing are the only real aesthetic bits on the motorcycle. Everything else is here purely for functionality, and there's nothing wrong with that approach, especially since there's very little you can break off the road. The bike I'm riding also happens to feature a taller windscreen, wind deflectors, and a crash guard with fog lamps, and all of these are accessories. Honda has reserved the larger 24-litre fuel tank exclusively for the Adventure Sports variant, which is unfortunately not on sale in India right now. While there's no harm in daydreaming about that version, what the existing Africa Twin has to offer isn't too disappointing either, far from it in fact.
The Africa Twin has always been big on meaningful features and gadgets, and with this update, it seems to have gotten even cleverer. However, is this a case of Honda trying to compensate, given that the Africa Twin is far behind its peers when it comes to outright grunt? Or is there real merit to this approach? To answer this question, I guess I'll just have to ride it.
The 999cc liquid-cooled parallel twin motor gets a hike of less than 1 HP, and with 89 HP on tap, it's not exactly the most thrilling motor out there. Thanks to a new lithium-ion battery, however, it has now shed 2.5 kilos, bringing its curb weight down to 243 kg. Alright, that's not a revolutionary change of affairs, but the Africa Twin didn't quite need that sort of overhaul anyway. That's not all. The 2018 Africa Twin retains its party trick, the 6-speed dual-clutch transmission, which offers 3 drivetrain modes: D, which is fully automatic, S, which makes things sportier, and M, which allows you to shift gears manually, although only using buttons mounted on the left-hand side of the handlebar. A tow shifter is available as an add-on, but it will set you back by nearly 40,000 rupees. The most important update has been the addition of throttle-by-wire, which has enabled Honda to add 4 more levels to its Honda Selectable Torque Control program, up from 3 on the 2017 model. Level 1 of the HSTC is for aggressive riding, while Level 7 is for wet, slippery conditions. It also gets 4 riding modes, each of which is individually programmable. For 2018, Honda has also updated the airbox and the exhaust unit, which gives it slightly stronger mid-range performance and a more pronounced exhaust note as well.
A lot of you out there don't like to be nannied too much, but thankfully the Africa Twin gives you the option to substantially lessen the intrusiveness of its rider assists. And what happens when you do that? Well, sit back, relax, and make sure you've got your popcorn ready.
The Africa Twin is simply the most tractable adventure tourer out there, and that's because Honda has focused on making it manageable rather than a fearsome, dominant beast of sorts. In the city, you can ride it around pretty much like you would an Activa, and on the highway, it's at ease being ridden at 120 km per hour all day. You can go much faster than that, of course, and its rivals can do even better on that front. But hey, what's the hurry? While its lack of outright punch may not appeal to a lot of you, given that you expect a certain amount of power for a motorcycle of this price, it's important to consider the kind of stress-free usability it brings about, especially when you go off the road.
If there's one adventure tourer out there that feels almost like a dirt bike, it's this. With the Africa Twin, Honda has created a motorcycle you can explore the world on without being limited by weight or aggressive power delivery. It's got substance where it really matters, but it hasn't been needlessly burdened with things just to make it look good on paper.
The third generation of the Africa Twin is based on the CRF 450 Rally, Honda's contender for the grueling Dakar Rally, and that means it has a lot to live up to. As a result, Honda put in the long hours getting its basics spot on, which should explain the 251mm of ground clearance, which is substantially more than on the Triumph Tiger for instance, and also than on some full-sized SUVs by the way. It also gets a front and rear wheel combination of 21 and 18 inches respectively, although the tires are not tubeless. Also, this wheel configuration does rob it of absolute agility on tarmac, but the trade-off is effortless handling and stability off the road, so it's fair for users looking for versatility. The long travel suspension feels right at home off the road, although it is a bit soft in its neutral setting for fast highway rides. While you can adjust the suspension to your liking, on the whole, comfort is more crucial to long-distance riding than supremely entertaining dynamics, and this is where the Africa Twin scores quite high, being on par with most of its rivals and better than some others. The brakes, on the other hand, continue to feature a soft initial bite like on the outgoing model, but overall braking is progressive and ample.
What you have to respect about the Africa Twin is its ability to absorb and also how forgiving it is on the whole. Honda has definitely made a step in the right direction with this update, and for 13.23 lakh ex-showroom Delhi, which is just 30,000 rupees more than the outgoing model, you get to take home a motorcycle that can take pretty much anything in its stride. To quote my colleague Rishad, the Africa Twin gets happier as the roads get worse, and that's pretty much the brief Honda had in mind when it decided to recreate the legendary Africa Twin. While there are motorcycles out there that are similarly capable, there is just nothing else that is as encouraging of exploration and discovery, and that's just beautiful.